Morning. Um, Come on in, come on in. All right, so good morning. My name is Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. I run two companies, Mobile General Counsel and Speak Your Way to Cash. Today, what we're going to talk about is entrepreneurship. So if you own a business, this is going to be really good for you. And specifically, what we're going to talk about is the biggest losses that I've faced this year and what you can learn from them. And we're going to talk about business losses now, okay? So every business owner really should be listening to this if they have the time. You want to invite your friends to this because I don't have these types of discussions often, but we probably should have them a little bit more. We probably should have them a little bit more. So yeah, let's talk about these. Let's talk about these losses. Before we get started, tag in your entrepreneurship friends, people that should be hearing this, people that want to be or should be a part of this discussion. And we're going to go through a few losses. Now, the reason I'm having this discussion is because as a coach, as a consultant to organizations, I find that people like to make their coaches or their consultants insurance for mistakes. They like to make their coaches and their consultants insurance for mistakes. And the fact of the matter is, I've never met anyone that's won really big without losing pretty big also. And although you hire coaches and consultants to shorten your learning curve, there's a lesson curve that you can't skip. And that lesson curve will involve you taking some losses. Now, I'm going to specifically share, I think, like 4 or 5 of the biggest losses that I've faced this year. But you got to understand, guys, that even if you have amazing coaches and amazing consultants, these people are not a replacement for you thinking and doing what is best for you. They can offer insight, they can offer guidance, but they are not there to do the work for you or to do the thinking for you. So I'm grateful that although I've had great coaches and great consultants along the way, I've also experienced some great losses that I'm so thankful for, because now I know what I'm capable of. I know what resilience looks like because I've walked through some things. Okay, so let's talk about it. The first loss that I'm going to talk about and share with you all is in hiring. I did not simplify my business sufficiently. I didn't simplify the business sufficiently to move really, really, really quickly through the onboarding process. So my business right now, we use way too much technology currently. This is a current issue. We use way too much technology. We send emails from 2 different platforms. We have 2 or 3 different text platforms that we use. We use a variety of technology to power our law firm. It's not simple. Like, you're going to have to be here a while to really understand the technology. And the downside of that is when you're hiring, when you're in a growth season and you need to onboard people quickly, if they got to learn 10 tools, you can't get an ROI out of that individual until they learn 10 tools. And that's not good, right? So I need to work on simplifying the business model. We've done that a little bit by not offering so many services. We've streamlined how we serve clients, but we have not streamlined enough how we provide the solution. And so for you as a CEO, as someone who is always trying to grow and do better, the lesson from this is, if right now you have a very simple business where you can go and see all of your sales on one platform, that's a good thing. Don't overcomplicate your business. Don't chase different tech trends. Try to keep it as simple as possible. Because in my experience, our most challenging hiring issue is that the learning curve is so complex. Like, it's not just send an email from here. It's not just all the clients are in here. People are in different places, different systems are used for different things. And the client doesn't feel this complexity, but the internal people that we hire definitely do. So that's a big issue for me. It's something that we're always working through. And to be clear, we have hired several people to simplify it. You know, we've had tech audits, we've hired chief tech officers who said they could come in and do all these things. At the end of the day, what I've learned from paying a ton of money to a ton of people is that if you yourself are not independently proficient in what you're hiring someone else to do, and it's like tech specific, you're likely to get screwed over. It is what it is. So I know how to use every piece of tech in the company. I don't use every single piece of tech. I have people who do it, but I learn how first. I pay really, I invest a lot when I get a new tech tool to pay a consultant that maybe is going to charge me $400, $500, $600, $700 an hour to show me how to do it, so that when someone comes on and they're like, oh yeah, I sent that out, I did it, it's right, I can like check, because I've lost money by not understanding what's going on in my business, and I can't have that happen again at this level management. And for any of you who focus or who watch The Profit with Marcus Lemonis, he actually would go into companies that are far larger than mine and say that it was a waste to have all these middle managers, because then you don't know. One, you have a middle manager, and we tried this. We tried having like an operations manager, and what would happen is all the employees or contractors would talk to them. They wouldn't know. They would talk to me. I was just talking to one additional person to get the information to my people. It didn't work for me. Not yet. Not where we're at yet. Now, when we hit 3 million plus 5 million, maybe then it'll be like, sure, have all these extra people. But yeah, that's made hiring hard. Not simplifying the business model. That's a big one. If anyone's dealt with that, just drop yes in the comments or send me a message saying yes. But you want to have a business that is simple enough that you can get help when you need it. I think a lot of people desire the additional clients and all of that, but if you're not careful, if you don't have good people on your team, that means you're doing additional work. So that's not always great. And the reason that's not always great is because as much as my clients would like to think they want me sitting at a computer all day, putting in periods on their documents, that's not what they hire me for. I'm hired as a strategist. I'm not hired I'm hired as a strategist. I have to have someone else to implement that strategy so that I protect my mental space. Like, I have to be able to think big. I can't, I'm not the one like, oh, there's a period there. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I like to do. Okay. That's not what I like to do. And so whenever you get bogged down in the day-to-day, you can't think because you're working all day. You know what I mean? So you just have to be careful about that. Like, how much time do you have to think? And right now I'm in a period where I'm thinking a lot and working a lot because I have Speak Your Way to Cash Live coming up. So that's a different type of period, but I have had to, just put in some additional boundaries. So hiring is a big one. Totally my fault. I did not simplify the business sufficiently to onboard the best talent. All right. Second thing, client revenue lost. Biggie. Okay, let's talk about this. So I posted on Instagram earlier that we've lost about $70,000 plus in we didn't lose contracts. What happened was we've had people who signed contracts saying they will pay a certain amount of money. And what they do instead is either not pay, sign on to a payment plan, not fulfill the terms, default their payment, or we've had companies that sign the contract saying like, we're going to pay for your services. And they like default on the contract, end up going with someone else in breach of our contract. And because of that, that is where that money comes from. That said, I only, I added this number up this morning because I knew I wanted to post about the losses that we've had. But I haven't felt this number all year. And this is just a function of us having a good amount of revenue coming in. Like, we do good. You know what I'm saying? We can lose this and it's not going to be like, oh my God, let me fire somebody. It's not a big deal from that vantage point. However, it does present an opportunity. The only reason why we were able to lose this amount of money is because the way that we do our corporate contracts, a lot of corporations have tons of pushback to paying deposits. So if you're a speaker, consultant, thought leader, this is going to be interesting to know. Let's talk about corporate money lost, and let's talk about consumer money lost. On the corporate money loss side, a lot of companies don't like paying deposits. Some will, some won't. The smaller the organization, the more likely it is that you're going to pay deposits. Now, none of my speaking clients pay me in full upfront. Okay. Now, I shouldn't say none. I should say none of my large speaking contracts pay in full upfront. So when I talk to you guys and I'm like, man, just landed a $75,000 contract, just landed a $60,000 contract, they don't pay all that money upfront. They typically will pay it based on whatever payment schedule that we arrange. That payment schedule is negotiated. So let's say they haven't made their first payment. The contract was signed. They haven't made their first payment. I haven't delivered the services yet. we lose that money if they decide to default on the contract. So we lose the anticipated revenue. You with me? So that's where some of that money comes from. On the consumer side, y'all know how it goes on this side. On the consumer side, people will agree like, yes, I want to do this program. I want to do this thing. They get on a payment plan that we finance, that we administer, I should say, right? And then they default. They miss a payment. Their card goes black. Their card changes. They don't update it. They're like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't do it anymore. We don't have a lot of that. To be specific, we've had 2 defaults on the consumer side. And we've had 3 defaults on the corporate or collegiate side. And I don't even know, I think I should probably say 2, because one of those clients actually came back and signed a larger contract, which was a blessing. It worked out great. And it's not a lot, right? We're talking about a handful of clients, bad actors. Overall, we do really good with this. We're way below industry standards on defaults. But because of our pricing, the way our business is set up, it's still 5 clients still represents $70,000 for our business. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and we have price points all over the map. But this was particularly like a one-off speaking engagement, 2 one-off speaking engagements, and then 2 coaching clients. That's essentially what that represents. The one college, I ain't even gonna count it because they came back, paid, signed, sealed, delivered. But that's basically what that represents. So here's what we're doing to change that. Here's what happens when you offer payment plans. When you offer payment plans and I fund the payment plan. So you come to me, you're like, hey, I want to split up my payments. We then go in the back end. We set up a way for you to do that. Our administrator is the one who's like, hey, make your payment on time, blah, blah, blah. We're going to set it up automatically. When your card defaults, we reach out to you personally. And we charge like a convenience fee for all of that. An administrative fee is charged for all of that, which is typically why payment plans are more. Because the administrative side of a payment plan is far greater than a client who pays in full. I don't have opinions about like, oh, people who do payment plans, like those clients aren't good clients. I don't have any feelings about that. That has not been the case for me. We've had most people who sign on to do a payment plan do a great job. However, there are a few that disrespect they disrespect it. Like payment plans are they're not a right. Businesses don't have to offer payment solutions. They do it because they want to accommodate more people. Now, our solution to this on the consumer side, moving forward, we don't plan to offer as many payment plans, if any payment plans, that we personally administer. What we will do is offer financing options. So if you want to do PayPal credit, fine, but we get paid in full. You work that out on the back end with PayPal credit. If you want to go through another financing solution, we have some offers for that. You'll pay over time. It'll be a low payment for you, but we get paid in full. That's how we're going to do it. And then we'll pay for the convenience of that. The reason we're going to that model is because if we don't do that and we continue to serve more people, it's a cost of doing business. You're either going to pay for someone else to administer this stuff, or you're going to pay because people will default. Sometimes like last year, I think we only had, it was like maybe 1 or 2 defaults all year, which is great. Most people have a lot more than that. But as you start serving more people that you don't know as well, that rate can go up. So definitely we lost revenue on this side of it. Thankfully though, there is not a single client who is who funds our businesses. We're sufficiently diversified where it's not like a client calls and I'm like, if this person doesn't do this, everything falls apart. We're not structured like that. So that's a blessing, but it's money lost. Boundaries. Next big lesson, next big loss. This year, because we did a lot more on social media, we ran a lot more ads, we spent a lot more money on advertising. A lot of people came into my space. A lot of you may be new followers from an ad. If any of you are live on Instagram and you're here from an ad, just drop ad in the comments. Like you've seen our ads on some of our posts and you've been like, oh, let me follow her. Just drop ad in the comments. But a lot of people that are new, whenever you scale up your advertising, they don't know you, how you work, your processes, all that type of stuff. So people are gonna reach out via DM, via email, via text message, all hours of the night. You know, if they don't automatically get a response, they're going to DM you. They're going to, you know, do all these different things. I even had someone not email me. It was like over the weekend. They couldn't get in touch with me. So they emailed one of the people that they know that I know. Like, we need her to respond right away. And it wasn't urgent. And that's inappropriate, but it is what it is. People don't respect boundaries. So because of this, I'm actually working to have clear social media phone hours. And then outside of those hours, like, I'm not going to be online. Like, someone else will be in the DMs answering them. I'll give my assistant access. I did that this morning so that we don't have to deal with this. Most of the time, like now, if I'm DMing you, it's like me. It's not my proxy. You know what I mean? But to manage things, I think that that'll be a way that we move forward, just so that we have a little bit more boundaries. The other thing, guys, is like people can email you at any time of the day, but you're not required to respond. So I even tell my team this: if I message you and it's a time that you're off, don't respond. Like, I know your hours, you know your hours, just don't respond. So keep that in mind as well. But boundaries was a big thing. Let me see if there's any other lessons that are on here. I talked about hiring. We talked about client revenue. We talked about boundaries. Team. Okay, let's do team. Let's talk about the lesson I learned with hiring a team. Now, my firm has an incredible team. Shout out to my associate, my husband, the law clerk that we just brought on. We have a really good team on the law firm side. But as you all know, if you've been following me at any given time, what event am I working on right now? Just drop it in the chat. What event am I working on right now? There's no way you're following me and don't know about the event that I'm working on right now. Like, just drop the event that I'm working on right now in the chat. So in the beginning of the year, we hired an event planner for my event. Yes, speak your way to cash. There we go. Everyone knows what I like. It's very simple to tell. We hired an event planner for this event, and it was not a good fit. I'm very anal, guys. Like, when it comes to how I want things done, I'm anal in terms of like it being correct. Like, if you're going to come to me, make solutions, it needs to be like, hey, Ashley, this is the venue. This is the total cost you're going to be paying. That did not happen. We had to find our own venue. We had to, we couldn't get responses to things in a timely fashion. It just was not a good fit at all. So we were like, all right, we've already, sunk some money into this. Let's just cut our losses. Keep the money, girl. Like, we got to go. So here we go. We're in the beginning of an event. We don't have an event planner. This is one of the most complicated Speak Your Way to Cash live events that I'm hosting because it's hybrid. We have an in-person model. Then we have a virtual model. So they're going on at the same time, and it's expensive. Like, this event to produce is over $50,000. It is an investment to do this event. We're flying in volunteers. We're hiring day of event coordinators now. We're decorating lightly because the venue is already pretty well staged. We're shipping things to people. Like, these are the workbooks. We're printing workbooks. We're hiring designers to design everything out. I have like boxes that I'm shipping nationwide and also internationally. And the content of the event is brand new. Like, this is all new material that I've developed, curriculum. Like, I designed the curriculum myself. So it's a very complex process. Without an event planner to handle the logistics, someone that I actually trusted, we're kind of in that driving seat. So my husband and I plan 99% of the event, and it's been a huge and tiring job. Okay. To be clear, like, super excited about it, but also very tired by it. So when the event planner didn't work out, because I was like, man, this is gonna be great. I can hire an event planner. I could chill. I can do this. She'll find me venues. I'll get lists of things and I'll just approve. I had an idea in my mind of like, when people hire teams for the first time on social media, and it's like them and their team, and it's like, look at all these people that do all this stuff for me. I had that idea in my head. I was like, oh, it's gonna be amazing. Child, no. Okay, it was not that at all. Okay, it was not that at all. And now this is our 6th event. So for any of you who have done stuff yourself and you got to pass it off, it's tough. I can admit that, like, I'm not a go with the flow type person. And I think that for a lot of people, the way they do business is very go with the flow. Like they're very much like, Ashley, it'll all come together. And I'm like, but where's the plan for it to come together? Because I hired you for the plan. So that was a huge loss, not having an event planner that we trusted to get that done for us, because it meant we had to jump in. That said, it's a great learning experience. We did hire someone as a day of coordinator, and I'm sure she'll be great. She has great experience, so I'm sure she'll be great. And my mom is going to help out, because my mom is the bomb and has event planning in her background and project management. So really excited about that as well. But that was a big thing. And this event overall has just been a lot of work, more work than you all can see. And I know that you all do see me posting about it every single day and running ads and doing all the things. But even over and above that, it's been a lot of work. And the truth is that it is going to be the best Speak Your Way to Cash Live yet. And if you don't have your ticket, I mean, you're missing out, because I'm not doing a 3-day event again. Okay. All right. Now let's see what else. I think that may be the last big one. Oh, no, this is a big one. Trusting the wrong folks. Okay, let's talk about this. I have this year for sure trusted some people that I should not have trusted. And I have even promoted and promoted people and things prematurely. Here's what I mean by this specifically. When I first start working with someone, I'm like so excited. And I'm big on referrals. Like I refer people all the time. I'm big on referrals. I refer people all the time. So when I first start working with someone and they show signs that it's going to be a great experience, I'm quick to be like, oh, they are great. Go hire them. They know how to do this. They know how to do that. They know how to do blah, 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 all these things. That was a mistake. And I learned that this year because one of my friends had to pull me aside and say, like, Ashley, the thing is, you could work with someone, they could not be great. And then you could stop working with them. But if you work with them, you promote them to your audience, say they're great, and then other people are going to work with them, because when you stop working with them, you don't make another post that's like, they trash, I don't work with them no more, which is true. I don't do that, because I don't believe in like cancel culture and all that kind of stuff. I do believe that some people, if someone privately asks me, would you recommend this person? I would say maybe I'd recommend someone else instead. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be like, oh, let me tell you all the dirt I got on them and they're bad like that. I just think that's a bad thing to do. So yeah, she was right about that. So what I've learned this year is like, you got to give people time to be who they are. You got to give them time to show you who they really are. Some people are very good at faking the funk. Most people aren't good at doing it longer than 90 days or 6 months. So just give things time, give things room to breathe. The other thing, I hired a bookkeeper and an accountant this year. And I paid probably for the past 12 to 15 months to get my books done, my accounting done, and all that stuff. Child, that stuff ain't been more done. You know what I'm saying? And like spent so much money into this stuff. And so I understand when people say, I want to invest. I just want to make sure I'm investing with the right person. I understand that. What I will tell you guys is I'm about to hire another bookkeeper. What I don't do and what you shouldn't do, anyone listening to this, you don't hire someone, have a bad experience, never hire again, think everyone's bad. That's not a productive way to operate. And what was placed on my heart about this is, okay, Ashley, if you're struggling, like right now, you're still praying for more. This is me talking to me, right? Right now, you're still praying for more, Ashley. So if you're praying for more, great. But you have to handle what's in front of you. If what's in front of you is totally consuming you with overwhelm, and now you're not taking action, and now you don't trust nobody, so you crying in your room, then you are not ready for more. There's still lessons you have to learn here. And I kind of treat my life like a Mario video game in some sense. You literally cannot skip a level. You have to go through the level you're on in order to go to the next level. And along the way, along that level that you're at, you're going to get coins, you're going to get gems, you're going to get knowledge. But if you really want to grow, the best thing you can do is learn. Okay, that's my Auntie Ash moment of the day. If you really want to grow, the best thing you can do is learn, because otherwise you're going to keep repeating the same grade over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm very conscious of that. So I don't want to do that. Therefore, I make sure I'm growing. So yeah, I trusted the wrong people, should not have done that. Hired some of the wrong people, should not have done that. At the end of the day, it's still my fault. Yeah, their work was horrible. But the reason most of my bad decisions in my life have come from me operating out of haste, from me not taking a night to sleep on it, from me not following the clues and the signs that are in front of me about people, and instead being like, oh, I gotta get this done. You know what I mean? Not getting wise counsel. And there's a thin line between getting wise counsel, asking people their opinion, and making all of your decisions based on people's opinions. I actually recommend if you lack confidence in all areas of your life, the first person you need to ask for advice is yourself. Start to try to learn to trust yourself. Ask yourself a question, see what you think about it. A good practice that I developed was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to ask for their opinion on this, but what do I think about it? What do I feel about it? As a service provider, as a speaker, a thought leader, an entrepreneur, a consultant, you are, unless you do manual labor, you are paid for your thoughts. You are paid for the way you approach problems. That brilliance that other people pay you for, you should also extend to yourself. Okay? Trust yourself is what I'm saying. So I trusted the wrong folks, but I'm going to read you guys this line from the post that I said today. Trusted the wrong folks, but I forgave myself for it and I moved on. The good news is, as long as my intentions are pure, I'll be blessed. Here's what I'll tell you. People are always going to, like, there will always be people that want to do you wrong. Forgive them, people, and let it go. They don't care. That's why they did it in the first place. Or they may not know because you didn't tell them, you know. So I give people grace, and we're still in a pandemic too. So there's that. Now, here's the lesson. Because I get comments, right? I think it's so important to have a position or stance of some sort before getting outside opinions. Absolutely. Here's the thing that I wanted to say, the lesson in all of this. I heard recently, like, you know, y'all social media influencers, you all don't tell us all the bad things happening in your life. You always, when you post pictures of your marriage, everything looks perfect. You post pictures of your business, it always looks like you're making money. Well, we are a revenue producing business. We are always making money. But at the end of the day, the reason why I don't post a lot about my loss is because I post what I'm thinking about. To be real, I don't think about losses much. I think about the lessons that I've learned from them, but I move on. When I find that people are unsuccessful in business over an extended period of time, like 2-3 years, and they are in the right industry for them, and they are competent in what they're doing, what I find is a big issue is that they do not trust themselves at all. Like, at all. They got to ask for permission to do any and everything. And if you don't trust yourself, you'll never disagree with someone that you see as more, quote unquote, powerful than you. The danger in that is you will often lose the ability to decipher and leverage your own brilliance. I could give you an opinion and say it's a bad idea. And you could be like, all right, I respect that opinion. Tell me why you think it's a bad idea. And then I can explain why I think it's a bad idea. But then at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I don't care what Ashley has to say. We're doing this. I'm going to try it for 6 months. I'm going to give it my all. Everybody else be, y'all know what. You know what I'm saying? That's where your confidence grows. It doesn't grow from me giving you the answer, you doing exactly what I say, and then you coming back to me for more answers. That's not where your confidence grows. And I know there are some coaches that like when people do that because they have a God complex. They want people to like worship them and believe they're God. I personally avoided coaching for a really long time because I don't want to be anyone's God. I don't want to be anyone else's bottleneck. I don't even want to be my own bottleneck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be in that position in anyone's life where they decide what to do solely based on my words without ever consulting their maker or themselves. It's just not my thing. I don't need to be worshiped. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not how I roll. Plus, I want to work myself out of a job. If I'm your coach, I really want you to be able, like, by the end, to have enough confidence to be like, I know how she'd think about it, but let me figure out how I think about it. And to be clear, it's okay to disagree with me. That's on you. That ain't on me. So when people ask, why don't people share all the bad things that happen to them, consider this. Winners focus on winning and lessons, not losses. So people aren't being fake. They just focus on what serves their future. If in your life, you are always focused on your losses, how you grew up, how your mama ain't do you right, how your daddy ain't do you right, it's likely your past, the memory of your past, is not serving or fueling anything good in your future. To have a bad past, it is what it is. Don't make excuses for anyone that hurt you, but figure out a way to think about it so that it can encourage you and make you better. Hopefully that makes sense. So those are my lessons. Now, look, I believe a good coach does a couple things. One of them is gives you insight. The other is gives you wisdom. The other is they're transparent. If that is what you are looking for and you want to land corporate clients, I would invite you to come to Speak Your Way to Cash Live in November. It's the 4th through the 6th. If you can only attend one day or any day, you're still going to get your money's worth. But the reality is, if you can come all 3 days, and we got some pre-event stuff going on that's really going to be transformative, it's going to change the game. We only have like 15 days left for you to buy your ticket to this event. 15 days left. Go on my Instagram page, check out the videos I posted recently showing the venue. You can get a virtual ticket or you can get an in-person ticket. If you want to attend and you want to split up the payments, we do have a financing option. Please DM me or shoot me an email so that you can get access to that. We don't make it publicly available to reduce the amount of people who misusing it. And you gotta be careful out here in the internet streets, okay? But please do get that. So today's date, I don't even know what today's date is actually, guys. September 16th. Today's date is the 16th. As of today's date, there are only 15 days left for you to get your ticket to Speak Your Way to Cash Live. So make sure you're there. A lot of you on here are already there. You're in the room. You're getting your ticket. Hopefully this was helpful and you learned something from this. If so, please share. Let someone know that. Also, my book, Speak Your Way to Cash Live, that you can see in the background more than likely, is available for pre-order. Right now. So you can go to my shop, AshleyNicoleKirkwood.shop, and grab a pre-order of the book, which ships out November 15th nationwide. All right, guys. Well, you all have an awesome, powerful day.